Hello, I'm Matheus. Today I'm going to develop the tech challenge for Fullstack. So let's start with it. Right now I already have the project in my computer. So let's take a look at the instructions here. Okay, I need to implement these endpoints, complete the tests, and apparently I will have some problems running the application. So let's start with that. I'll try to run the application to check the problems. Let's see what we have here. Okay. Right. Oh, okay. So here we have a SQL error. Apparently we're missing a column from the table monster. Let's check the migrations here in the project. Should be here. Okay. Let's see. Create monster. Okay. So here, oh yes, we don't have the column name, so let's create it. Let's use this alter monster extended SQL file. I'll do a alter table monster at column name. I'll make it a varchar 255, not new, the full empty. So okay. And let's just move on. Let me try again. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so that looks like a cache problem. Let me see. Okay, I can just delete this file to restart the DB. Since it's a development base, it's not gonna affect the process. So let me clear the console to check again. Let's run this one more time and check what we got. So, okay, it seems to be working right now. So I think it's okay right now. Let's move on. Okay, let's start then implementing these endpoints. Let's start with list all monsters. Starting here, let's check the files that we gonna edit. Let's check the controller. Okay, looks like you have two files. Let's start with the monster controller here. I'll move on to DTO. There's nothing here. Exceptions. Okay, nothing. Model. Repository, nothing. Model, nothing. Let's see service. Implementation. Okay, here the extended service. Great, so let's start with this method here. First of all, I'm going to declare these two variables here so we can work with the dependency injection in this class. So, okay, private, final, since the value of them aren't gonna change, we are going to use final here. I'm going to put the types right here. Okay, that's fine. Semicolon here. Great. Let's move on to start these variables. I'll copy them and paste here. Great. Now they are declared. We can use them in our function right here. So let's see, I need to return a monster DTO apparently. So let's start with the return. We're going to use the monster repository for that. looking here, I guess it's a GPA. Yes, okay. It's a GPA repository, so it has some standard functions that we can work with. I'll do right here a find all to start, screen the data so I can run through them. I'll sort this information, use the comparator, pairing, monster get ID. Okay, yes, that's gonna work. Now we have our list sorted actually by ID. I'm going to map to transform the data into the DTO we need. Here we're gonna have monster. I'm gonna use model mapper parameter here. Map. I'm gonna pass monster and the object destination. It's gonna be monster DTO class right here. Monster DTO class. Great. Now we are going to collect the data using the selectors, show list, and the semicolon here. Okay, I think it should be fine by now. Let's now move on to the controller here. Alright, so here in the controller, apparently we're returning an int information. I don't think we're gonna keep with that. I think we're gonna return a list of monster DTO. Actually, let's import that. Import list. Okay. Right here, we're gonna return. Actually, we need to have a constructor here. So monster extended controller. Right here, we're gonna receive here the monster service. Monster extended service. Monster service. Now I'm going to declare this variable here, private, final, great. Let me just take that here. Okay. And initiate this variable. Great. Now we have access to the monster extended service here in our controller. Knowing that, we can access our new method here, which is the get all. So right here, get all, and I think this should be fine by now. Okay, we can try it out. Let me see. I have prepared a. Let's use a postman to tests. Postman. Okay, let's see here. Get monsters. I have some predefined endpoints that I've built here to optimize the process. So here we have the endpoint I'm looking for, which is get monster. When I run it, okay, we have our monsters here. So apparently it's working fine. So let's move on to the next endpoints. Let's see here. We have the start a battle and the lead a battle. So let's go. I'm gonna close that and open the battle extended controller and the battle extended service. Great. Here we have start battle and delete. Let's start with these variables. Private final. Just going to copy and paste them there. Okay. Right, let me copy them again and declare initialize them here. So, okay, they are initialized, so now we have access to them right here. So right now we're going to move on first to the delete battle. I think it's gonna be a little bit simpler than the start battle. So here we are going to have the battle object first. So we're going to declare battle battle equal our, let's gonna use the battle repository here. So the repository dot find. Okay, I'm gonna use the ID here, find by ID. Let's pass this information here. So, and also let's just check with or else throw. I believe we have some exception ready here for use. Let me check. Okay, we have resource not found exception here, so we can use that. Resource not found exception. Battle not found. Great. So now that we have our battle here, we're going to delete that. So battle. So we're going to call our battle repository again, dot delete battle. Okay, it's working. And let's return just true here. So right. Okay, I believe it's working. Let's move on to the controller here. So here I believe we're going to return void actually. So let's change that. Oh, okay, we also need to declare the constructor here. Wait, we're going to use our better extended service here. Better extended service. Better service. Great. Let me just clear them here. Private final battle service, and it comes here. This dot battle service equal battle service. Great. Oh, apparently I missed the type here. So okay, now that's working fine. Now we have access to our battle service. So with that, we can use this delete. Here we're going to have to receive the ID. So we gotta use that. So let's use the path variable here, declare as int id and pass it. Okay, let's see what's happening. Void methods can't return. So okay, let's just keep that way. Great. So now we have our int id passing our method. If I check here, we're going to receive the id using the battle repository, find by id. We're going to have our battle entity. If we don't find it, we can throw this exception, having the battle entity. We're going to delete it and return true here. Great, let's test it. I believe we have some battle already in our system. Let me see here. Okay, great. We have one battle here. Let's just check. Okay, great. ID 1. So we have the ID. Okay, I have it ready here to delete this battle. Let's try it. Okay, we had a error. Name for argument of type int not specified in parameter name information not available via reflection. Okay, let's see what happened here. Let's see. Let me understand it. Mhm. So legal argument exception. Let's check our code again. Path variable, delete mapping. Seems to be working fine right here. Let's see. The repository. Find by ID. Try the exception. What could be wrong here? Let me think just a minute. Mapping. Let's try to use the documentation here. Let's define something here. Illegal argument exception. Java platform. No, no. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't seem to help me right now. Let's just check the code again. Battle service dot delete ID, and we're expecting some int ID here. So identifier battle to delete, find by ID. Okay, let's check something. Print system. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't seem to be working right now. Alright, let me check. Battle service. I'm getting the path variable here. I'm grabbing this. Name of arguments, type int not specified in parameter name information. Let me try to change it here. Path variable t int id, and let's right away save it here. I'm trying to use the console to test. Try, okay. Let's try again. Running the application here. Okay, let's try again. Let's get the battles again. Okay, I have it here, the battle. Battle. Okay, so it was probably a some problem of cache apparently. So let's check the battles. That worked just fine. Great. Let's see. So okay, it seems to be working just fine. Let me go into the start battle. It's going to be a little bit more complicated. I mean, because we're going to have to implement some business logic here. So first of all, let me check the instructions again. Okay, Java coding. So here we have the battle algorithm. So for calculating the battle, we're gonna take into account the flow below. So let's start with that. The monster with the highest speed makes the first attack. If both speeds are equal, the monster with the higher attack goes first. So, okay, let's dig into that right here. Into the battle detail, we have the start battle parameter, which is a battle detail. We're going to receive a monster A, monster B, and a winner. Okay, monster detail, we have something here. Okay, we have some attributes here, so that's right. It's good to know. Name, attack, defense, HP, speed. Okay, that's great. Let's start by declaring our monsters here. So we're going to have the monster A, which is going to be the start battle parameter using the, let's see if I get it. Let me think how I can get these monsters right here. I believe we are going to, no, that's not going to work that way. I need to define an attacker first. So we're going to have an attacker and the defender. No, I will take the logic for another function actually. Thinking about here, I'm going to create it. I believe that if I need to get these monsters, so let me think. Just to update my code, let me create a find monster function here, which is gonna receive this, and let me get that. Okay, I think I can do something like this right here. Get, okay, yes, get monster A, and let's call it monster A. Say monster B, monster B. Okay, now let's create this function here, this method actually. Public, it's gonna return monster DTO. Actually, not a DTO, I believe it's gonna be just a monster actually. Find monster, and you're going to receive a monster DTO. Yes, that sounds better. Monster. And for start, let me check if it's empty. So if monster DTO equal new, I'm not using monster DTO here, just monster. Monster equal new or monster get ID equal. So if any of these are true, we're gonna throw a new exception here. I think I can use the one that I've already used, that is resource not found exception. So, okay, let's put this message here, monster not found. So, okay, seems to be great right here. And let's return using our repository. So we have the monster repository here. Repository find by ID. You can use the monster ID here. Monster get ID. Great. Let's just protect that with our else function here. And we can throw the resource not found exception again. Just put the declaration here. Okay. Resource not found. Monster not found. Okay, that sounds great. Find all by ID. It's find by ID. Okay, that should work for us. So now we have the both monsters here. And both of them are going to start battle. So let's declare a battle right here. New battle. And the battle, we're going to set something. We're going to set monsters. I believe we have this here. Okay, set monster A. I'm gonna pass the monster A here. Also with the monster B. That's okay. Great. Also, we have some way to set the winner, I believe. Set winner. Great. Now we're gonna move on to that. But now, just let's declare some function here. Resolve winner, which will receive monster A and monster B as parameters. Let me copy that. I will paste that right here. So public resolve winner. It's going to return a monster here, which will be the winner. Let me just take this monster. Monster. Okay, I believe it's going to work. Now, right here, we're going to have two types of monsters actually. The monster attacker, which we're going to define later, and the monster defender, which we're going to define just like checking if the attacker is equal to monster A. If it's true, so it must be monster B here. If it's false, it's monster A. To find the attacker, let's just create another function here. So get first attacker, and we're gonna pass these two monsters, monster A and monster B. Let me take that here, create another method, public, it's gonna return another monster. That's first attacker. It's the same as here, so let me copy that. Okay. Okay, now here in the first attack, we're gonna apply some rules that are present in the instructions here. So the monster with the high speed makes the first attack. If both speeds are equal, the monster with the higher attack goes first. Let me try to apply that here. So we have the if the monster A, let's see, we have here get speed, is greater than monster B get speed. Let's try that here. Okay, so let's put that here. If the monster A speed, now let me just think a little bit better about that. Because if I have here the monster with the highest speed makes the first attack, if both speeds are equal, the monster. Okay, so if monster A speed are greater than, actually I'm not gonna go with that. I'm going to use the equals function here. I believe it's gonna be better. Yes. So I'm going to use the monster here. Monster B that speed. Okay, so if the speeds are equal, we're going to check the attack. So here we're going to return based on attack. So monster A gets attack is greater or equal to monster B get attack. Okay, so if that's true, we're going to go with monster A because it has the greater attack. Okay, that's false. It's monster B. And we have a similar logic here, but right here we're going to talk about the speed. So if monster A speed is greater, actually here it's not greater or equal, it's just greater, it's greater than monster B speed. Monster is the first attacker, otherwise monster B is the first attacker. So it's going to work here. So right now we're going to get back to our function here. Having the attacker and the defender, I'm going to declare the HP of each monster. So monster A HP, which is equal to the monster A dot get HP. Then we have the monster B HP also here. Monster B get HP. So having this information, we can move on to the turns of attack and defense here. So I'm just gonna go with a while. I'm going to check if the monster AHP are greater than 0 and if the monster BHP are also greater than 0. That's the condition to continue with the battle. So let's calculate damage right now. The damage is the difference between the attack and defense. So, okay. I'm going to declare the damage of the turn here, which I believe it's going to be the monster A dot get attack, actually attacker dot get attack minus the defender dot get attack. Okay, but I know that if it's less equal to 0 or less than 1, it's gonna be 1. So let's use a max here so I can get the higher value here. So alright, when it's lower than 0, it's gonna be, or lower than 1, it's going to be 1. Okay, so let's move on. Right now we are going to compare to apply the damage to the HP of the monster. So let's see, we're gonna see if the defender is monster A. We apply the damage here, minus equal damage. Read else. We're going to do the same thing to monster B. We're going to apply the damage here, and after that we need to change the attacker. So let's create a next attacker here, which is going to be equal to defender, and the defender is going to be equal to the attacker, and the attacker is going to be equal to the next attacker. Great. Now we know that it's applying the damage. Let's just return the winner here, which is the monster HP. Actually, we're gonna check if it's less or equal than 0. If it's less or equal than 0, then the monster B is the winner. Otherwise, the monster A is the winner. So that's great. I believe it's working really well. Okay, so we need just to return the data here. So right now we already had decided who the winner is. So we take that information here, just declare return. I'm going to use the model wrapper here to transform the data. I'm going to use map here, battle repository, just save the battle, save the battle, and I can pass the battle here. So now it's saving the battle, and we're going to transform it to the battle DTO class, actually. Class. Great, semicolon here. Okay, I believe it's working. Let's just adjust the controller now. So moving on here, we have the battle services. So it's gonna be it's gonna be easier right now, because having this right here, we're going to call the start battle function. Actually, we're going to need to receive something here. So let's create a request body here, so we can pass it like a JSON, and it's gonna be battle DTO actually. Battle DTO. So let me see. That's the name of the variable actually. Let me put the type here. Okay. Now we have the type here. Let's import that. For battle DTO. Start battles need a battle DTO actually. And right now, type mismatch. Okay. So we're gonna turn a battle DTO here also. So that's great. Let's see. Start battle. I believe it's working already. Let me check here in the Postman. Let's see. It's gonna be battles. We're gonna need to build this. Let's get the monsters here. So let's use monster 1 in battles. We're gonna change that to post. And here I believe we're gonna have the monster A. Let me delete that. Delete that also. We're going to have the same structure here for monster B. Great. So let's use another monster here. Let's take the monster 3 here, the red dragon. And let's get battles. Okay, let me send that just fine. Alright, and the winner is red dragon, so you can see it's working just fine. If I change to get battles, we can see this right here. So it's great. It's working just fine right here. We don't even need to send all this information, I believe. Just the ID would be enough. Let me try that. And we have some data here, so let's try 5 and 2. And okay, let me change that to post actually and try again. So yes, it's working with just the ID. The Angry Shark had just win this battle. Let's check again. Alright, it's great here. So this endpoint is also working. Let's move on. Let's move on to the tests. I don't have a lot of experience with tests, but let's see. Okay. Now here we have the Battle Extended Controller tests. Okay, let's just check that. Should fail, start battle with no existent monster returning. Alright, let's see what we can do here. So should fail, start battle with no existent monster return 400 of 404 status code. So let's see, how can we start this test? Let me check on this controller again. The battle controller here, search man, controller. Okay, great. So we have here the list battle. Here we have the start battle that's what we are going to test there. So great. Let's just start. Let me check this controller, just see some examples. Okay, have some mock MVC here. Great. Okay, just for understanding. All right. Okay, here I believe we can start with that. Let me just check that again. Smoke. Okay, let me just start with that here. Going to try it. We're going to perform a post here actually. I'm going to need this path. So I'm going to perform a post using the battle path, and well, I expect it to return. I mean, we gotta check some content here. Let me think. Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with that unit tests in Java, so I don't believe I can complete this challenge doing the tests actually. I, I know how to build programs in Java, but from my experience, I haven't dealt enough with unit tests. I believe it's something that I can really learn really fast. I'm a quick learner actually. I wish I could complete this, but I'm gonna end this by now. I tried to study a little bit about it, but I haven't hadn't enough time here this last day, so I'm sorry to end it in the middle of the test, but I believe I can really learn it. in a day-to-day basis. If I need to work that, it wouldn't be a problem at all. I have a great understanding of Java, so I believe it would be a very key for me to learn new technology like Java unit tests actually. I'm not going to, run the PMD, which is the style. Let me run that here. Okay, let me just, oh, let's see. Okay, so apparently it's okay. We have no problems with the style. Let me clear that. Let me see here again. PMD, run the tests. Okay, the tests are not working. I can run it here, but I know they are not working well. There's gonna be a lot of errors here. Yeah, all the tests failed basically. So let's put that. I'm going to, okay, I follow the rule of only modifying the extended files. Okay, let's go then generating the zip. Once again, I'm sorry that I couldn't complete the whole test. Uh, as you could see through the development here, I have a great understanding of the Java, and I can really work with that. I'm actually looking for an opportunity to work with Java, and I know that I can learn information that uh, all the missing points of Java today, my weak points actually. I'm a quick learner and love to work with technology. You can be sure that I'll be looking into these unit tests after that. But today I really can't build this test right now. I don't want also to copy any code from other sources, so I want to build it with my own knowledge. So I'm just gonna send this and hope we can move on with the process. I'm open to any doubts that you have, and that's it. I already generated the zip file, so let me just see if we have how to do. I know that it's an acceptance criteria. The code style check script must pass. It passed. Battle endpoints were implemented. So now once again, I hope we can continue with the process. I'm really sorry I couldn't resolve all the tests, but I hope we can move on to work together. I believe I can uh, learn and fulfill my weak points with no time. So thanks for your time. Hope we can talk more about that. See you later. Bye bye.